How's it going, everyone? How's it going, everyone? My name is Josh, and today I'm going to be breaking down why so many of the best freelance brand scalers or media buyers or agency owners that I know are broke, and they're not making nearly as much money as they should be with their skills. First off, they know how to run the ads, but they have no idea how to run a business. You have no lead flow, no sales skills, and no systems. You're operating like a technician. You're great at the craft, but you don't have systems to attract, convert, and retain clients like a real business. This is where so many of you guys are right now. You're just at the tip of the iceberg. You have no client attraction, no client conversion, and no client retention, which is such a large part of actually making money in this business model. Without these things, you're missing out on predictable income, scaling beyond just a few clients, and building a real asset that doesn't rely on your time. You guys are trapped right now. This is how we need to transition. We need to go from unpredictable income to predictable income, client dependency to a scalable client base, becoming time dependent to time independent. This is your current business model, and this is where, by the end of this video, you should understand how to position yourself over here. So, what are the 4 steps that we can fix just not having systems in place? You need lead generation pipeline. You need to have a system that's going to attract clients through various different channels so that you're always having people in your pipeline to close. You always have money in the door. You need to have a good offer. You need to solve a painful, valuable problem for a business owner or, people that you're selling to. You need to have an automation to take care of these things, whether that's different tools, contractors, VAs, whatever that may be. And you need to track your businesses. You need to track your financial metrics like your expenses, your income, your outcome, your churn rate, making sure that you're profitable and what you need to fix in order to continue scaling. So I'm just going to go through and show you what this looks like in my business so that you can get an idea of, after you implement all these systems, what it should look like. For example, this is ads, right? So these are ads for the agency. You can see leads are coming in, 329 leads. What these leads do is they get sent to our CRM. This is our Go High level. And they get booked here. They get called by a setter. The setter is going to call these people, just do a quick qualification. If they're broke, they'll move into this pipeline where we don't continue contact. If they're booked but still needs to be called, yada, yada, yada. Those calls are going to get booked with our closer. The setter is booking with the closer here. The closer takes these calls and is actually getting the cash collected. But now that we have the client, do we need to do the fulfillment? Well, yes and no. The closer is going to send them these onboarding videos that I actually recorded myself. So this is going to be a walkthrough, how to organize your Google Drive so we can get all their media and then their entire Facebook account checklist so that we can actually get the ads up and running. They're going to get sent a drive where they put all of their media. By the time, we even look at the ad account, they've already paid, put their media through, set up their account, and I might not even have talked to these people yet. All of this media in here ready for us to use. They're going to get added to our Slack channel. So I don't like to do communication through iMessage. It just gets a little bit crowded. So they get onboarded into this Slack channel where they can communicate with the media buyer, anyone who's doing creatives, things like that. The media buyer is actually going to run the ads. So there it is, right? So they've been found, onboarded, closed, cash collected, ads ran, system set up, all without me. I haven't even done anything yet. This is a system working in place. So the ads are going to go up, ads are going to be ran, the invoices get sent. You get paid. This is real money that's coming in. And all I'm doing here is tracking all of my expenses. So, different client names, their signing process, retainer percentage, bill date, if they're doing email marketing, how much money I'm actually generating from them. Right here is my revenue. This is the total money. These are my expenses, so that's minus. And then this is actually what I'm left with net to, pay tax on, right? So this is what the system is looking like. The leads are coming in, they're getting closed, your media buyer will deliver the results, the cash is collected, and you are only left with scaling the business. But I don't expect you to be there yet. I don't expect you to know how to do these things and be at the point to just have a full system in place and your business is running. So when you don't have the business side figured out, you're stuck in survival mode and you're just chasing clients. So this is the first thing we need to fix is your client acquisition. When you're lacking clarity, you're chasing clients, you're stuck pursuing clients just to maintain. We don't want to be maintaining, we want to be growing. Maintaining should be bare minimum, right? So this is holding you back from focusing on your fulfillment, scaling with confidence, and charging premium prices. So this is what you have to do. Pick one acquisition method to start, whether it's cold DMs, content, or outbound. I recommend the cold DMs or cold calling to start. It's just very cut and dry. You answer the phone, or they answer the phone. They tell you, yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm interested. You can fix your pitch. Super simple. But here we are. Here's the different things. Cold messages, direct and personalized approach, quick and engaging content, or different outbound strategies to help you build relationships. But this is what this is going to look like. Sending your messages is step one. You're going to need to find these leads. You can do this through like Instagram, Facebook groups, Google, things like that. Send 100 messages, about 100 messages a day with a strong offer. That's going to be important. You want to catch these people's attention. You don't just want to say, hey, can I run your ads? That's not an offer. Who's going to respond to that? Second thing you need to do is build a lead tracker. This is actually really important, and a lot of people overlook this. So much money is collected in following up with leads that you've already contacted. People are going to need a lot of touch points with you before they can actually convert into a sale or sign as a client. Don't be afraid to follow up every 3 to 5 days with leads that aren't responding. Here we are. It's really this simple, guys. You close the leads and you make money. You're going to need this cash flow. Next, if you want to continue scaling your acquisition and your lead flow, you need to invest in a VA. So whether this is someone that is going to take over the cold DMing, take over the cold calling, or help you so that now you're getting the work of 2 people. A lot of people work based on commission. So even if you're offering like a high commission of 30%, which is, this is a lot, guys. This is an example. And you're charging $1,000. How much are you losing from that? $300. So you're getting an extra $700 from someone else doing work, right? And then you need to start expanding your methods. So long form content is amazing. Do that on YouTube. Paid ads, you can do that on Meta. Short form content is going to be Instagram or TikTok, and cold calling, etc. This is the last step. You want to do each of these steps in order. This is in order for a reason. So you can see down here, this is Facebook groups. You can do this to help find leads, and this is just Instagram. You can do the explore page. This is go high level. So this is what you can use to help track your leads. This is a CRM, and this is just Google Sheets. Google Sheets. This is something that you can use. Go high level is paid. Google Sheets is free. So if you want a little bit better, more advanced, you can do Go high level. If you're doing Google Sheets, that's just a free alternative. Here's some payment processors that I recommend. Stripe is just well known. Everyone knows Stripe. So many people use Stripe. Make sure to watch your chargeback rates and don't start making money too quickly because they're going to hold it. But if you use a payment processor like Convesio, you're not going to have to worry too much about your payments getting held or anything like that. They have amazing customer support. So either of these will be fine options. But here's the thing. You're always going to have leads in your pipeline. That's the goal. When you follow these steps, you're always going to have leads in your pipeline. You're going to be closing clients regularly. You're going to go from desperate to selective. This is huge. You're going to start choosing who you want to work with. You're not working with everybody, but now you're able to pick, I know this person is going to get me good results. I'm going to work with them. I know this client isn't going to get me good results. Even though they applied and they have the money, I'm not going to work with them. I'm going to save myself the hassle. So instead of just consistently nurturing people, you're going to start closing clients. You're going to be able to transition to selectivity. Like I said, amazing. That's probably where everyone wants to be, right? And you're going to be able to choose your collaborators. So you're going to select partners and clients based on mutual benefit and alignment. But because you aren't at that level yet and you've been desperate for deals, you're starting to price yourself like a freelancer instead of an operator, which is going to bring us to the next issue. You're charging based off what you would pay, not based off the value you provide. Brands might be making $20,000 a month off of your work, but you're afraid to charge $3,000. This is holding you back from so much. Number one, earning what you're worth. You're not getting fair compensation or recognition. It's holding you back from working with high quality brands. You're not improving your reputation, and you're not improving your opportunity because you're not charging what you should be charging at all. And you're not enhancing your market value. You're not increasing earning potential. So don't worry, guys. I broke down exactly how you can fix this. I'll break it down. Audit your impact on client revenue. So you need to track exactly how much revenue your ads are generating for your clients. Next, you need to calculate their profit. And I'm not pocket watching, but estimate how much take-home profit your work is actually adding to their business. You need to compare versus your rate. If you're driving $50,000 a month and you're charging $1,000, you are severely undercharging. And put it together, visualize it. Use a simple before and after numbers or charts just to show the actual return that you're generating for these businesses. Now you can justify your price. So once you know your impact, pricing higher feels logical, not greedy. You don't want to be greedy. Secondly, start anchoring your price to outcome, not deliverables. Charge based on results, not the tasks you're doing or the hours that it's taking you. Stop selling your deliverables. I know so many people make this mistake, and it was something that I came across when I was first starting. I kept telling people, yeah, we're going to run retargeting ads and we're going to do this, and I'm going to help you get engagement on Instagram, and I'm going to do cold conversions, and I'm going to do no one cares. They don't care they don't care what's happening. They don't care how many ads you're going to be publishing. They care about their revenue. And when you sell them on the fact that their revenue is going to increase, you're going to be able to charge more because they don't really care how you're doing it. Tie your price to value. The more money you help them make, the more your service is worth. This is why RevShare for e-com especially works really well, because if you make someone $150,000 in a month off ads and they're paying you $2,000 a month, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's why we do RevShare, because it's directly correspondent to how much you're making them. So $150,000 per month, say that comes out, say you do a little less than 10%, say you get $10,000 for making them $150,000. Wouldn't you like that? It's the same work. It's the same work, and it shows your value. Next, shift your mindset. You are not an expense. You are a growth partner. Next, premium pricing is more outcome confidence. So the better your results are, the higher you can charge. This comes with time. Next, learn to sell with confidence and scarcity. Speak like you know your service works, because it does. Guys, if you have done this before, if you have testimonials, you know your service works. You know the value that you're actually bringing to these businesses. Don't come into their business and say, well, we might be able to get this for you. We're going to do a free trial, and if it starts to get you some results, then we'll charge you. But if not, don't worry. You have to pay me $2,000 because I'm going to make you $40,000 this month. That's just, that's what it is. You don't have to be that aggressive, but speak like you know your service works. Don't sell yourself short. Also, don't over-explain. When you're over-justifying your price, it signals doubt. When someone's trying to convince you so heavily that, running these ads is something that took me years to learn, and, we've seen results with X and Y and Z, and when you put the website and the blah, blah, blah. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that, and it makes you sound like you don't even believe what you're talking about. Keep it simple. Use scarcity. This is a big one. Let prospects know spots are limited and you only work with certain brands. Even if it's not true, guys, I'll be honest, even if it's not true, you can work with 10 brands, you can work with 100 brands. But if they think that they're special, they're going to be inclined to want to work with you. So also position yourself as the prize. They're lucky to work with you, not the other way around. You need to position yourself. If this is the brand right here, you want to be up here. You want them looking up at you. You do not want them looking down at you because you are an employee. You are the expert that they are coming to for help. You are not begging them to hire you as an intern. They are coming to you as the expert so you can help their business, not so you can help them. You know what I'm saying? So confidence attracts high-paying clients. People pay more when they sense certainty and exclusivity. Have conviction in your product. Understand that it works, know that it works, be confident that it works, and explain it like it works. Last step, I know this is a lot of talking. Package your offer. Productize so it looks premium. Create a clear, structured service with a name, framework, and process. Make it look high-end. Use nice, clean design, good branding, and premium language. Remove the freelancer feel. Brands don't always want to work with just one person. Like if they think they're working with a team of professionals or someone that has an LLC or something like that, it makes it a lot more trustworthy. You're not just doing ads, you're offering a proven system. Clarity is confidence. A productized offer is easier to sell, price, and scale. That's just simple. That's just the truth. A premium look is a premium price. The more polished it feels, the more clients are willing to pay. We've known this. We've known this, guys. I just broke down exactly how to fix your pricing model. You're charging now $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Clients are respecting you more. Your income reflects your skill, and you're not stressed about people lowballing you anymore. What's worse is even when you guys are landing a client and maybe you are charging the right amount, you're doing everything by yourself. You have no systems, no help, and you're just burning out. If you stop working, everything is stopping. You are the business, and it's not scalable, and it's burning you out. You need to be working on the business, not in the business. When you're in the business, you are stuck in a box. You want to be working on the business. And this is your little hammer that you're using to work on the business, right? So this is holding you back from scaling. It's holding you back from working on the business. And it's holding you back from the freedom to think, grow, or rest. So how do we fix this? Document your fulfillment process in Notion. This is just a website that you can use, a program with videos. I already kind of talked about this. We systemized everything. I recorded these videos one time, and I send them to every client. I no longer have to get on a call to talk about how to set up Facebook. I don't have to explain why we use Slack. I don't have to explain how to link your ad account. I don't need to explain how to access your Google Drive or where to send us creatives. That entire thing, done. Entire thing is done for me because I recorded these videos. Easy. Here's another example. The Google Drive. I no longer am begging for creatives or trying to get them emailed to me, or the client gets this. They upload their creatives. Done. So this is just taking a big chunk of time that is being spent on the business out of the equation. No longer, even if it's just a 30-minute call that had to be done with every client, I no longer have to do that. If I onboard 10 clients, I just save myself 5 hours. 5 hours just from recording these videos once, 20 minutes. Another thing is automate your client reporting. I don't really have any examples to show for this, but have a template that you can send to your clients every month with their ad spend, their return, what this means. You don't have to sit there and type it out every month. Again, even if it only takes you 10 minutes per client to type it out, but you have 10 clients, that's 100 minutes that you're saving a month. These things add up. And this is only 10 clients. What if you have 100 clients and you have to send all these things? And it only takes you 10 minutes per. That's not that much time, but by automating these things, you just saved yourself 1,000 minutes. I don't even know how many hours that is. That's a lot of hours. Last step is hiring a contractor or a virtual assistant to help, even just a few hours a week. So there's a ton of different things that you can hire for, and it's kind of going to depend on what you actually need in your business. Like, everyone is going to be at a little bit of a different stage. So depending on your niche, your fulfillment process, your workload, the amount of clients, everything like that, you can hire someone differently. For example, someone who does creative or competitor research. They are pulling ad examples from ads library, organize files, finding winning angles, hooks, offers. Everything's already laid out for you. Done. Campaign reporting, monitoring performance daily, flagging issues, logging spend, KPIs, tracking sheets, dashboards. Guys, these are tasks that anybody can do. Like, you don't need to hire someone crazy. This is a $4 an hour task, right? You don't have to be doing these things. Client asset management, so organizing creatives, requesting missing assets, and maintaining folders for testing or retired advertisements, or even just having someone help launch campaigns using standards of practice, naming conventions, tracking creative performance, and managing your parameters. So you can hire a media buyer. These are more expensive, but this is literally the person who runs the ads. So if you're contracting to a media buyer to run the ads, you may have just cut your fulfillment in half, right? Say you have 10 clients and you only hired them for 5. Now you only have the workload of 5 people, but you're still getting paid for these other 5 that you aren't doing the active work on. Now you just freed up all this time. Say that's 20 hours a week. Say you just freed up 20 hours to work on the business, onboard more clients, blah, 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 blah. You can hire someone to do creative design if you're designing the creatives for your clients, right? So instead of spending 10 hours a week, you pay someone, I don't even know how much you want to pay someone, $50 an hour to give you the highest quality creatives, and they get it done in 2 hours instead, so you pay them $100 instead of having your 10 hours of work. So you save 10 hours of work, and it only costs you $100. This is why you're trapped in your business, is you're not hiring the right people. You're stuck doing everything. Oh, wait, no. This is after you fix it. You're not stuck doing everything. You're not stuck doing everything. Your business can run without you. You can scale, take time off, or spend more time on your growth. The first time that I hired a contractor, my life literally changed. Everything became so clear to me on how to actually scale the business because I saw the efficiency of taking someone who is literally smarter than you in most cases at a specific skill, hiring them to do all of this work. And if you're charging, say, $100 per these random 4 task bubbles, and you're paying the contractor $15 because that's only what he wants to charge, because it's so easy, you can do it, in 2 minutes. He's like, this is the easiest thing ever. You're making, what is that, $85 times 4, and then what even is that, 140, right? So you're making this money, and he's doing all the work. So this is time free. You did not have to sit there and work to make this money, as opposed to, oh no, it's not 400. Maybe that's what you're, guys, I'm lost. What is this, 300? 340, I mean? There we go. So, yeah. No, I'm so lost. Ignore whatever I just wrote. God, I can't do math, guys. This is why I hired people, because I can't do math. But when your whole day was spent inside Ads Manager, it was easy to forget that performance isn't the only thing that scales a business. If you're struggling to scale your business, how can you be trusted to scale other people's business? You guys are too obsessed with metrics. You're ignorant of leverage. You're optimizing for CPMs and CTRs, but you're ignoring the brand's offer, retention, cash flow, or product margin, which are all affecting success. This is you guys right here. You're looking at these charts, you're looking at your return on ad spend, and you're getting a dopamine hit because you think ROAZ is all that matters, and the higher the ROAZ, the better you are at being a media buyer. And if you have a 150x ROAZ off 4 cents in spend, you're the GOAT. You know, no one can do it better than you. You've cracked the code to running an agency, right? You have 150x ROAS on 4 cents in spend. You know, let me post that as a testimonial. Why am I not getting clients? Why do people not love my 150x ROAS? Stop looking at this number so much. Yes, it's important, but it is not the only thing that's affecting their growth. This is a problem because you aren't solving their real business problems. You're not retaining clients long term, and you're not positioning yourself as a strategic partner. You're positioning yourself as a button pusher. No one thinks that what you're doing is important. Like, they think that you're a $4 an hour VA. This is what you are to these businesses right now, when all you talk about is your ROAS and your clicks. They think that you're just pushing some buttons and you don't understand anything about business. Learn your clients' business models. This is also why it's important to pick a niche, because it's easier to understand one niche in depth and apply all of these things than to try and be a jack of all trades and you understand how to run ads, but you don't understand any of these other important metrics for any business in particular. So for example, if I'm talking about clothing, because I know you guys love clothing, I understand how the average order value works, the lifetime customer value, how the margins work, how many people are repurchasing, and that's why we're able to scale really, really well, because we're looking at so many different things and I understand it because I picked a niche and I stuck with it and I learned it and now it's working. So yes, AOV means average order value and LTV is lifetime value of each customer. So here are some examples of why ROAS isn't always that important. Having a high repurchase rate and lifetime value means it's okay to have a lower initial ROAS because you're not making money on the first purchase, you're making money over time. A high repurchase rate is ongoing revenue. If customers keep coming back and buying again through subscriptions, consumables, loyal brand fans, the profit is stacking after the first initial ad spend. High LTV is long-term profit. If you spend $50 to acquire a customer, on day one, they only spend $60. You have a 1.2x ROAS. That would get you laughed at in the freelance brand scaling community. They would laugh at you. They would say, ha, 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 you suck. But little do they know. They don't know this. In 6 months, they might spend $300 total. Your ROAS has become a 6x over time. Now, am I just giving you hypothetical numbers? Could I say that this person now has gone and spent $1 million and our ROAS is now 10,000? Yes, I could say that. But that's not what I mean. I mean, if you understand your LTV of the actual client that you're working with, you can make accurate assumptions as to what your ROAS can be in order to get the most amount of your growth. We're not just going for a 4x ROAS all the time, because a 4x in a situation like this might not, really make you as much money. You want to acquire as many customers as possible, knowing that they're going to come back and spend way more money. So you break even or lose slightly on the first purchase, but you're making it back and more on the second, third, and fourth order without needing to run another ad. You gain predictable, compounding profit, which is how real brands scale. No one likes to talk about this in the brand scaling world, and I feel like it's known by everyone that is succeeding, but it's not known by people who aren't succeeding because they're positioning all of their value to these brands on I'll get you a 4x ROAS. And maintaining a 4x ROAS isn't always, one, the best option, or two, even possible. If you're maintaining a 4x ROAS, you might be missing out on a lot of money. You might be missing out a lot of money, or you're not delivering your service. You're actually doing yourself a disservice by putting so much of your focus on ROAS. If you can explain to these businesses this exact example that I just explained to you, you will get more money from them. They will be able to scale quicker, faster. They will see the actual growth in their company. They're not just seeing 4x. We spent $1,000, we made back 4. That's awesome. Versus we spent, I don't know, 6,000, we made back 12.5, but next month half of these people came back and bought again. Versus 1 to 4, and that comes back to 2. Do you see what I'm saying? So here we spent 6 to make, what is that, 19K? And here we spent 1 to make 6. This is what, like a 2x? A little over a 2x? This is a 4x? Do you see what I'm saying? You need to, I don't know. You guys hear me. You guys hear me. You got to think long term. Think about you're planting these seeds. You're spending this money that's planting seeds in the business, and these seeds are going to sprout and grow. You are not putting it down. You're planting little seeds. This is a long-term game. Another thing that you can do is start consulting on their offer and their retention. So using leverage metrics like contribution margin, break-even ROAS, and cash in versus cash out, which I'll explain, you're packaging yourself as a strategist and not just a media buyer. So what is contribution margin? This is revenue left after your variable costs. So your product costs, shipping, payment processing. Why does this matter? It tells you how much profit you're actually working with to spend on ads. Without knowing this, you might think you're profitable when you're really not. This is helping you figure out how aggressive you can be with ad spend without losing money. You can use this to find your maximum cost per acquisition to understand true margins for scale. If you bring this up to your client, they're going to say, wow, you're so considerate and you're smart. And they're going to be happy that they're working with you and not somebody else. So what is your break-even ROAS? If you guys have a little bit of common sense, you can probably guess here. The ROAS you need to not lose money on your ad spend. So this tells you the minimum performance your ads need to hit to avoid bleeding cash. This helps you stay profitable even if your ROAS isn't super high. When you know your break-even ROAS, you can scale with confidence and cut poor performing campaigns fast. So use this to make smart decisions about when to scale, pause, or kill ad sets. If you guys are just set at having a 4x all the time, and you see it drop to a 2.5, and you cut it off, but your break-even ROAS is like a 1.5, you are making money. Obviously, if I had an 8x, I would take an 8x over a 2x, but why are you cutting off a 2 when you're making money? You need to understand these things because you might just, and if you're doing rev share, if this is e-com and you're doing rev share, you're losing yourself money because you're turning off an ad set that's working and making money that you would be getting paid off of. You're losing money. This is your leverage right here. This is you leveraging to make more money. But what is cash in versus cash out? So this is the timing between when you're spending money on ads and when they're getting paid from the customers. So ads are going to charge immediately, but if your customers pay in 14 to 30 days, you can run out of cash. So even if you're profitable on paper, poor cash flow can choke the business. Understanding this lets you pace your spend, use credit, or adjust offer structure to smooth it out. So this is preventing cash flow gaps and avoids scaling too fast to maintain financial health. So this might be a little bit confusing because you guys might think, well, we spent $5 and the product was $20 and we got a sale, so they have the $20. This money doesn't just go right to their bank account. You know, sometimes it has to go through here, and now it's on the website, Shopify. And then it has to go through here, and we have to wait another 1 to 3 days, for example, for it to go to their bank and say that this bank needs to go pay the credit card that they're using to run the ads, which went to the $5, right? So like this might be a little bit of a circle. You probably won't have to worry about this too much when you're at a smaller scale, but at a bigger scale, if you spend $200,000 on ads in a month, you really want to make sure you're paying that. You know, you don't want to be caught collecting interest on $200,000 from your credit card, right? So that's, you could be losing money if you're not paying attention with your client, and they'll probably tell you that too. So packaging yourself as a strategist and not just a media buyer makes you invaluable because media buyers are replaceable. Media buyers are contractors. You want to be a strategist, and a strategist is like a part of the team. You want to be a partner, basically. Clients can hire any media buyer to press buttons, but they trust strategists to lead their growth. You're getting paid for thinking, not just doing, which means you can charge based on outcome and direction, not just execution, which means higher retainers or rev share deals. You can do this for lead gen or ecom. It's applicable to both. You're attracting higher level clients. CEOs are going to want someone who understands business, not just ad platforms. Being a strategist positions you as a partner, not a vendor. I hope that you guys are seeing what these slight changes are going to do for the business. Just these little things of suggestions or talking about specific metrics can make you go from being someone who gets paid $500 a week to $2,000 a week. You can make 4 times as much money just by implementing these things. You're controlling the offer, not just the traffic. So as a strategist, you influence the creative direction, funnels, pricing, and LTV. The real levers that drive scale, not just your ROAZ. Once again, client, media buyer, strategist. You want them to be looking up at you. You want them, this is going to be an ear, ready? That's the ear. It's actually good. You want them to listen to you. You want them to listen to you, right? You do not want them to be telling you what to do. Hey, cut this, push this up. This is the offer that we're going to run. You want to be telling them what to do. This is what's happening. These are the ads we're keeping up. This is why it's going up. This is what you need to fix your offer as. When you're in a position of power above somebody in their head, when they're looking at you for advice, not looking down to you as what to do, they're also going to pay you more. And also things are going to pan out because in some cases, most cases, you are the expert. They should be listening to you. You do have good ideas that are helping their business, not just telling them random things. So by doing this, you're becoming irreplaceable. Clients can keep you for 6 to 12 months. You can charge more because you're guiding the business, not just running ads. But even if you are thinking big picture, it won't matter if nobody knows who you are. If you have no brand authority, if you have no brand, you have no authority, you have no pipeline. Remember how we talked about up here, expanding your methods? Well, I'm going to teach you how to expand your methods. Nobody knows you exist. You're constantly pitching. You're stuck being the guy behind the screen instead of someone that brands come to. Think about someone like Brez. Brez is a person of authority that a lot of you guys probably know, and you as a little freelance brand scaler probably look at him as the holy grail of brand scaling. He has a great agency, all these clients, but the reason that you look at him like that isn't because he has all these clients. It's because of the way that he presents himself in front of the camera. Most of you probably don't even know how many clients he has. Most of you probably don't even know the niches that he's in besides clothing. Because it's not about the actual work over here, it's the way that he's positioned himself in front of the camera. This is a little iPhone. So the same thing happens with brands. Brands look at Brez and they go, wow, I do random thing, tree removal. I do tree removal. And I saw this guy Brez on my For You page. He says he does marketing. He looks really successful. Let me reach out to him. And you know what Brez is doing? Yup. Yup, I'm scooping that up. That's money right there on the table that he's getting. So he's getting so many inbound leads, and he's getting so many people coming to him as an expert. He positions himself as an expert, and maybe not so much anymore. I think he's become a lot more of a personality now, which isn't a bad thing. But back in the day, when you watched his videos, all he would talk about is these ads, talk about ROAZ, which we just talked about. You got to talk about other things, but flashy numbers, right? So he talked about all these metrics and things that he was actually doing for these companies, and it got him so many inbound leads. When you're seen as an expert, clients are listening to you. They're going to follow your lead instead of micromanaging you. I've touched on this a lot. With no brand authority, you are missing out on attracting premium clients, building reputation and leverage, and commanding high ticket pricing. Without authority, you have bad clients, no reputation, no leverage, and you can't charge anything. So we need to fix that. It takes time, but it's simple. These are your main platforms that you need to focus on. I'll tell you right now, these are the 3 that you need. Don't worry about anything else when you're starting. Post content 3 to 5 times a week. It can be case studies, insights, frameworks, whatever. At the end of the day, it just needs to be valuable. People need to look at it, see, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. I trust him. Maybe he can do this for me. Share your results, not just your dashboards. Don't just post pictures, but explain. Show things that people might not understand. Explain what made you choose this. What made you do that? Why did you pick this ad creative? What about this ad creative made it work? Again, value. Show your face, guys. You don't want to be a nobody. You want people to see you, recognize you, trust you. You need to talk like you know what you're talking about. Be a leader. You need to build trust. With trust, there is leads. With leads, there's money. With money, you get freedom. Collect testimonials, publish them all the time. This is simple. If you do work well and you have good fulfillment and you get good results, take someone from 12K a month to 60K a month. I think I posted a video about this actually. You could check it out on the page. Post about it. Post about it. Guys, maybe even just copy what I did. I post my testimonials and I send them to clients because it shows that I know what I'm talking about. It's replicatable. Again, I'm an expert in this case because I've done it before. Having testimonials puts you above so many other people because they don't have them or they don't post about them. So do those things. So, all right, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, this is what I'm supposed to post, but what does that actually mean? YouTube is going to be authority and long form value. So deep dive breakdowns, how I took this brand from 30 to 150K a month, case studies with screen recordings, tutorials, strategy explanations, basically leadership content. So business model breakdowns, industry shifts, etc. This is almost what this video is for you guys. It's long form. I'm breaking everything down. And the purpose is to build authority and trust, shows that we know what we're talking about. It's great for your SEO and long-term traffic. YouTube is digital real estate. You're buying a house every time you post a YouTube video, and that house is going to be there forever. And people are going to see this house over and over and over and over. And the more houses you have, the bigger portfolio you have. And each of them are appreciating because they're constantly going to be getting views the longer that they're on YouTube. So post. This also qualifies leads before they even book a call, because if somebody's reaching out to you, you know that they fit your ICP. So that's your like ideal customer profile, right? So they have money to invest in your service. They trust you. They have a business that they know will work with you because they watched your video. What else could you need? What else could you need? So TikTok, what are we going to post on TikTok? This is going to be for viral awareness and hook-based credibility. So short videos, breakdowns. You can do quick ones, 30 seconds. Maybe some myths or mistakes that people are doing, behind the scenes. You can even mix it with your lifestyle, because you also want people to know you as a person and not just you as a business. You as a business is actually just going to be you with these little glasses on. So you want them to know both. This is where you can do that, as on TikTok. So casts a wide net and grabs attention. TikTok is so easy to get views on. Even if you just post something kind of unrelated to your niche, maybe in specific, but about entrepreneurs in general. I'm not spelling the whole word, but entrepreneurs in general, it probably get 100,000 views. Boom. People are going to say, wow, who is this kid? Check your profile. When they go to your profile, they see, oh, wow, he does X, Y, and Z. Wow, let me go to this page. Blah, 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 blah. So it builds curiosity and initial awareness. And you can use this to drive traffic to your Instagram and your YouTube. All right, so we're getting traffic on TikTok. We're building a portfolio on YouTube. What is Instagram for? So this is just a little bit more proof, community, and your brand depth. So testimonials and screenshots on your story and your highlights. You can do some lifestyle or personal brand moments. You want them to see that you're successful. Not successful because you're scamming people, but because you're running a business that works and provides results. You can do story-based breakdowns, so this can be in posts or on reels, maybe some behind-the-scene content of clients or teams, or make it you. Make it you. But you're going to get warm leads through social proof. It's going to make you relatable and aspirational, and it converts awareness into trust in DMs. Now, how do we? Great, three different platforms. Connect them. We need to connect them all. TikTok goes to your Instagram. Full breakdown on my IG, or DM me scale for something. Push them to your Instagram. On your Instagram, you're going to push them to your YouTube. Use stories or bios to drive traffic to your long form content, which is proof, case studies, trust. YouTube is trust. Like I said, trust come leads, leads come money, money comes freedom. You can have your YouTube go back to your Instagram and your TikTok. So you can drop clips from your long form videos as reels or shorts to boost your visibility. I think I've also talked about this before. People on Instagram use stories 4 times more than they are on the feed. So if people follow you on Instagram, abuse your stories, post on your stories often, because people are 4 times more likely to see it than if you're just posting feed posts. Anyway, how is this going to get you clients? So having this kind of credibility stack is what people call it. TikTok is earning the attention, Instagram warms them up, and YouTube convinces them you're the expert. Your DMs are going to get flooded naturally. The Instagram stories and call to actions like DM me if you want this setup are leading to qualified conversations. You're going to get inbound deal flow. So with proof across all platforms, brands are going to come to you already primed and trusting. Clients are going to start DMing you. You're going to get inbound leads weekly. Sales calls are going to go smoother. And people are going to view you as a pro before they even talk to you. This is what we want. And I wanted to touch on this one rule before I moved on. The 7-11-4 rule. You probably heard it a lot. But in order for somebody to convert, they need to watch 7 hours of your content. And this is before a sales call. If this has happened before you even get on a sales call, they're going to convert. 7 hours of content consumed. This is going to build familiarity and trust. 11 touch points. This can be texts, this can be Instagram DMs, this can be comments, this can be posts. It just needs to reinforce you are there, you have a presence, and you are a person of authority. And it needs to be across 4 platforms. So this will create an omnipresence. Basically, they're seeing you everywhere. So it will move people from being curious to converted by stacking trust across these 3 different rules. Use short form for reach, long form for depth, and funnel them across your platforms. But when you don't have this clear business model, you start trying to do everything just to make ends meet. This is something so many people fall into a trap. Website, creative, email, and ads is only burning you out and undercutting your value. I know you want your clients to succeed, but instead of doing everything possible to get them there, when you're starting, if you're a multimillionaire and you want to hire 4 different agencies to work underneath you and you want to charge $15,000 per client, that's not what I'm talking about. When you guys are small and you're offering website because their website sucks, and you're offering creative because their creative sucks, and you're offering email because their email SMS sucks, you're taking a losing client that you shouldn't have onboarded, and you're trying to transform them into a winning client by yourself, which is going to have you end up making less than the guy who's just running a winning client's ads. Do not try and convert I don't even want to say it, but a losing client to a winning client. Just target the winning clients. A lot of brand scalers don't understand systems, so they think services equal more money. They start offering websites, email, SMS, branding, content, and ads, most of which is all done by hand. Or you're going to have really small profit margins because your target customer is someone who needs all of these things. Someone who needs all of these things probably doesn't have a good business and probably isn't making a lot of money. Versus someone who has a good business, maybe is making tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and they just want to add one of these things. They will pay all this money just to get ads, or just to get branding, or just to get email, or just a website. The $3 signs versus the guy who only has one and you're trying to give him everything because you think it'll transform him into the winner. It won't. Now you're running around like an unpaid marketing department. You're doing 5 different jobs for $2,000 a month and you're still struggling to scale. The guys who win are going to simplify. One offer, one system, one outcome. Then you can scale it with a structure. Clients respect specialists. They pay generalists like assistants. Do one thing, do it really well, figure out how to make that one thing make you $1 million a year, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. No one started off. It's like trying to do 5 different business models at once. When's the last time? Here, there's that one tweet, right? What was it like? Alex Hermosi. He's like, when's the last time you heard the guy who got rich off of day trading, and SMMA, and drop shipping, and crypto, and he's like, no one ever got rich by doing everything. You pick one thing. Ads, right? And you'll position yourself as I do, help you create the offer, I'll help you do this, I'll help you optimize, I'll help you do that. But at the end of the day, if you run ads, you'll make a lot of money. Or if you just do email. Or if you just do creative. When you start packaging these things, you need to charge a lot of money because each of these things could be a multi-$1,000 service. And if you try to make it all for $2,000, you're going to get burnt out, or your margins are going to be so bad you can't scale. When I stopped trying to do 5 services and I just went all in on one offer, my income jumped and fulfillment got 10 times easier. This might be hard for some people to come to terms with, that they might be doing too much. Focus on one thing. You already know that riches are in the niches. So you know I can't target everybody with my service, but why are you trying to offer every service to one niche? One service, one niche, money. Does that mean that each service is only going to be one step? For example, lead gen. Does lead gen just mean running ads? No, maybe not. But am I doing lead gen, website design, email, like putting closers in? No. Lead gen for, say, tree removal. Cut it. One. Let's just go over a quick summary of everything that we just covered. I know it's been an hour, but summary. You're great in Ads Manager, but you have no client acquisition systems or backend. The solution: install business infrastructure. Create an offer, sales system, onboarding, and delivery SOPs. You're living on referrals. You have no predictability and no pipeline. Build one acquisition method. Consistent outbound and inbound strategy. You're not charging enough. You're charging $1,000 a month for $30,000 a month results. Shift from task-based to return on investment-based pricing. Position yourself as a revenue partner, not a service. If you stop working, everything stops in the business. You don't have any time to grow. The solution is to document processes, hire help, automate reports, systemize your delivery. You're obsessed with the wrong metrics like click-through rates or ROAZ or your CPM. You're blind to the actual cash flow of the business. You don't understand LTV and you don't understand business fundamentals. Think like a strategist. Understand retention, offers, margins, not just ad metrics. invisible online, you have no content, no proof, no trust, no authority, no brand. The solution takes time. Build personal brand. Share your insights, results, and show your face. Show your face. Let clients come to you. Websites, creative email, SMS ads, you're spread thin and you're underpaid. The solution? Simplify. Build one core offer with a system behind it. Specialists scale, generalists drown. These are all the 7 things that we just went over. Everything. I just gave you the answer on how to solve every single one of these problems. I guarantee you, if you solve these 7 problems, even if you're only having 2 of these problems, if you fix these, you will make anywhere from 2 to 5 times more money instantly. I'm not kidding, instantly. You will go from 4K a month. I think you can go to 16 by just fixing these things. Just fixing these 7 problems that you're having. This is everything that I did to scale and make money without me being involved in the delivery. And if you need or want a done-for-you hybrid coaching program where we help you build a single high-ticket offer, create an acquisition system that brings in consistent leads, we're going to install automated delivery systems so you're not stuck in the fulfillment, help you build the personal brand, transition you from overworked to a leveraged operator, and put you in a position to work on the business, not in the business, send me a DM on Instagram. I'll have the link in my bio. Or if you want us to help you with running your ads, send me a DM as well. But we will help you build a lean, scalable business that generates high income with minimal input so you can stop chasing clients, stop doing everything manually, and start running a real operation. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much for watching. I know this was a long one. I hope you learned something from it. And if you implement these strategies, I have no doubt that you can get to 10K literally off this YouTube video. Literally off this YouTube video. Implementing these entire strategies can push you well over 100K a month. I have absolutely no doubt. So send me a DM on IG if you have any more questions or want to talk to me. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all for watching. Have a good one.